Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the most controversial events in 20th century USA. We'll explore both sides of each event to give you a balanced perspective. From world wars to the information age, the 20th century was a period of immense change and upheaval. Over the next hour, we'll revisit these pivotal events, examining their causes and consequences. The First World War had just ended, a fragile peace settling over a war-weary world. But here at home, a new conflict was brewing, fueled by fear itself. The Red Scare, a period of intense anti-communist hysteria, gripped the nation. Labor strikes, social unrest, and the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia spread fear of communist infiltration. Politicians exploited this fear, using it to discredit opponents and consolidate power. The Palmer raid saw thousands arrested and deported without warrants or due process. The Red Scare serves as a reminder of the fragility of our freedoms and how fear can erode our principles. The year is 1955. Rosa Parks refuses to give up her seat on a segregated bus, igniting a movement. For generations, African Americans endured segregation, denied basic rights. The civil rights movement, fueled by ordinary citizens, changed history. From boycotts to freedom rides, the movement gained momentum. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X inspired a generation to fight for equality. The movement led to the dismantling of Jim Crow laws and expanded civil rights for all Americans. In the dense, humid jungles of Southeast Asia, America found itself embroiled in a conflict that would not only test its military might, but also divide the nation deeply. The Vietnam War, a protracted and grueling struggle, became one of the most defining events of the 20th century, leaving an indelible mark on American history and consciousness. The Vietnam War, initially framed as a fight against the spread of communism, saw American troops engaging in fierce battles and enduring harsh conditions. It was a war that escalated rapidly, drawing America deeper into a quagmire that seemed to have no clear exit. The domino theory, a geopolitical concept that suggested the fall of one Southeast Asian nation to communism would lead to the fall of its neighbors, fueled American involvement. This theory was a driving force behind the U.S. commitment to the war, leading to a significant military buildup and increased engagement. As the war dragged on, the human cost became increasingly apparent. With mounting casualties and no clear end in sight, public opinion began to shift dramatically. The initial support for the war waned, giving way to widespread dissent and questioning of the war's purpose and morality. Anti-war protests erupted across the United States, with citizens from all walks of life taking to the streets to voice their opposition. These protests became a powerful force, highlighting the deep divisions within American society and the growing disillusionment with the government's handling of the war. The Vietnam War left an enduring legacy, shaping not only foreign policy but also domestic politics and culture. It remains a poignant reminder of the human cost of war and the importance of an engaged and informed citizenry in holding their leaders accountable. Memorials and commemorations for the Vietnam War serve as a testament to the sacrifices made by countless individuals. The war's impact continues to be felt, influencing modern military strategies and the way America approaches conflicts around the world. The Vietnam War remains a powerful reminder of the complexities of international conflict and the profound effects it can have on a nation. It underscores the need for vigilance, reflection, and a commitment to peace and understanding in an ever-changing world. The year is 1972, a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate Hotel. What began as a minor incident unraveled into a major political scandal. The Watergate scandal exposed corruption and abuse of power, leading to President Nixon's resignation. Illegal activities like wiretapping and obstruction of justice were uncovered. The scandal revealed a dark side of American politics. Trust in government plummeted, and cynicism pervaded the nation. Watergate underscored the importance of a free press and an independent judiciary.
The Roaring Twenties ended with the stock market crash on Black Tuesday 1929, marking the Great Depression's start. The American economy crumbled, sending shockwaves globally. Banks failed, businesses shuttered, and millions were unemployed. Bread lines stretched for blocks and families were torn apart. The Dust Bowl added to the misery, displacing farmers. The Great Depression led to the New Deal programs, reshaping government and society. It highlights the importance of social safety nets and government intervention during crises.
October 1962. The world was on edge, teetering on the precipice of an unprecedented catastrophe. The world held its breath as the US and Soviet Union stood on the brink of nuclear war. Citizens everywhere were glued to their radios and televisions, anxiously awaiting updates. The tension was palpable, and the fear of an impending nuclear holocaust was very real. The Cuban Missile Crisis, a tense 13-day standoff, brought the superpowers closer to annihilation than ever before. It all began when American reconnaissance planes discovered Soviet nuclear missiles being installed in Cuba, a mere 90 miles from the coast of Florida. The discovery of Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles from Florida, was unacceptable to President Kennedy. He addressed the nation, informing them of the grave threat and the steps the US would take to counter it. A naval blockade was imposed, and the world watched anxiously. The US Navy was deployed to intercept any Soviet ships attempting to deliver more missiles to Cuba. The tension escalated as both superpowers stood firm, neither willing to back down. The threat of nuclear war loomed large. Civil defense drills were conducted and citizens prepared for the worst. The specter of a nuclear apocalypse hung over the world, casting a dark shadow on everyday life. Through diplomacy and restraint, the crisis was averted. President Kennedy and Soviet Premier Khrushchev engaged in intense negotiations, each side making concessions to avoid mutual destruction. The world watched as these two leaders navigated the treacherous waters of international diplomacy. The Soviet Union agreed to remove missiles from Cuba, and the US secretly pledged to remove its missiles from Turkey. This delicate balance of power was maintained through careful negotiation and a mutual desire to avoid nuclear war. The crisis highlighted the importance of diplomacy in resolving international conflicts. It served as a stark reminder of the devastating potential of nuclear weapons and the necessity of dialogue and cooperation in maintaining global peace. November 22, 1963. A date that will forever be etched in the annals of American history. A day seared into the memory of a nation. The air was thick with grief and disbelief as the news spread like wildfire.
President John F. Kennedy, young and charismatic, was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. His vision for a brighter future was abruptly cut short.
The nation mourned the loss of its leader, who embodied hope and progress. Streets were filled with mourners, and the world watched in sorrow.
The images of that day remain etched in our collective memory. Newspapers blared the tragic headlines and television screens replayed the harrowing footage.
The assassination sent shockwaves globally, leaving a void in American leadership. World leaders expressed their condolences and nations mourned alongside America.
Conspiracy theories abounded, fueled by unanswered questions. Theories ranged from government cover-ups to foreign plots, each adding layers to the mystery.
The Warren Commission concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Yet this did little to quell the doubts and suspicions that lingered.
But doubts persisted, making JFK's assassination one of the most debated events in modern history. The grassy knoll and the motorcade route became symbols of endless speculation.
It marked the end of an era of innocence. The 1960s, a time of great social change, would never be the same, and ushered in social and political upheaval. The nation grappled with its loss, and the world watched as America navigated through turbulent times. May 4, 1970. Kent State University became a battleground as the anti-war movement clashed with law enforcement. 4 students protesting the Vietnam War were shot and killed by the Ohio National Guard. The Kent State shootings galvanized the anti-war movement and deepened societal divisions. The images of the shootings became iconic symbols of the era's turmoil. The legacy of Kent State reminds us of the importance of peaceful protest and protecting civil liberties. March 3, 1991. Rodney King, a black motorist, was brutally beaten by Los Angeles police officers. The incident, captured on videotape, ignited racial tensions. When the officers were acquitted, the city erupted in violence. The Rodney King riots lasted 6 days, leaving over 50 dead and causing billions in damage. The riots exposed deep racial divisions and highlighted issues of police brutality and economic inequality. They led to reforms within the LAPD and sparked a national conversation about race and policing. 1998. The nation was consumed by a political sex scandal leading to President Bill Clinton's impeachment. The Monica Lewinsky scandal began with allegations of sexual harassment by Paula Jones. It was revealed that Clinton had a sexual relationship with Monica Lewinsky, a White House intern. Clinton initially denied the allegations but later admitted to the affair. The scandal led to a partisan impeachment trial where Clinton was acquitted. The scandal raised questions about power, media, and privacy. It highlighted the partisan divisions defining American politics. The 20th century was a period of immense change and upheaval in the United States. From superpowers to the information age, these events continue to shape our world. We've seen how they tested the nation's values and institutions. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know which event you found most impactful.